My name is Quest, and welcome back to Scry, guys. And you can find me on Twitter at QuestingBeaver, and we have finally have a Twitch channel up at ScryGuys.tv, or not .tv, just TV. And I'm here with again
Barry. You can find me at Otaku on TikTok, and we are going to be talking about the Witherbloom EDH deck.
Yes, this is probably the weakest one. Looking at some of the spoilers for sure. We got Fu Commander though, which is kind of sweet.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird to see. It's kind of weird to see Golgari so focused on life gain.
Yeah, that should be like a Orzhov thing, right?
Yeah, or Selesnya, but I mean, there's no Selesnya school here, so I guess Golgari had to pick up the pace.
Yeah, definitely. All right, first one, we got a Guillaume Master Chef. 1 green, 1 black, and 2 colorless. Troll Warlock legendary creature, 5/3 trample. At the beginning of your end step, create a number of food tokens equal to number of non-token creatures you had entered the battlefield under your control this turn, and then pay 1, sacrifice a food token. Target creature gains indestructible until the end of the turn, and tap it. It definitely seems like a very janky casual deck for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to have some sort of form of protection. But this just really feels like if you build this deck, it's gonna feel like a Golgari good stuff type of deck, which for the most part, some people want more synergy from their commander, not just this is just gonna make you food tokens, which will maybe gain you some life in the long run or whatever. But really, these people are just gonna be making these food tokens just to create like an indestructible shield for their creatures. But other than that, I don't really see where else you can go with this deck.
I feel like I'm missing maybe a blue color for Thorn Eldraine, because that's the only set that even had food. Like you have Oko, Gildagoose, the Wolf. There are definitely a lot of good Golgari cards that make food, but you're missing Oko. I feel like Oko will be really good in this type of deck.
Yeah, to at least make all those food tokens into 3/3s. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Oko is still an issue because then it's turning commanders into 3/3 elks.
I think that's fine.
But when you can make, you could just sort of make a small army with Oko and just keep plussing it. That's good, but other than that, there's nothing really exciting about that. I mean, like when you saw it, where you're like, oh, now I have to build a Golgari deck.
Yeah.
No, like, were you thinking about it?
Just seeing him.
Seeing that guy.
Oh man, he just seemed super janky, like Master Chef. Like, yeah, I'm gonna just look through all the Golgari art to see if there are any chefs in them. The Master Chef Commander here.
Oh.
Like Hell's Kitchen or something like that. Like, I'm here to supervise everything.
It's going to be one of those janky, a chair deck or a deck chair art type of things. All right, next one that we have is Tavash Gloom Summoner, 4 and a black, legendary creature, human warlock, lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain life this turn, you may pay X life, where X is the amount of life you've gained this turn. If you do, create a XX black demon creature token with flying, and it is a 4/4.
I feel like the cost would have been maybe 4. But that might be just me. I feel like 5 is a little too excessive.
It's pretty high.
Yeah, just to have that type of ability, it just seems, I don't know.
Well, I mean, obviously this is one of those commanders that if you can get them out as early as possible to start making 4/4 demons, because it has lifelink on itself. It's good, but it's a very slow process of building up a board state. Yeah. And black doesn't really they don't really exceed in creating tokens.
Yeah, they really don't. I mean, there's some cards like Pest, maybe I don't know. It just seems like a really weak commander to me. It really takes a lot to gain life too. You gotta be aware of people destroying it too, on site.
Yeah.
I'll just kill it just because you just don't know. It just seems like a very glass cannon-y type of thing. I don't know. I could be wrong though.
That's also because you have to wait until the end step. So someone's gonna be, all right, well, before you end step, Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
Because if you guys have been wondering, every time we talk about some sort of spot removal and I say Swords to Plowshares, it's because I don't like Path to Exile. I don't like giving opponents lands.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Like Path to Exile seems like it's at medium best. Like
it's getting worse and worse to me. Like I'd rather give you life.
I mean, at late game, sure, but not early game.
Yeah, but then like also seeing people like Quest use Swords to Plowshares like it's a 1 mana ramp spell.
Oh no, you mean Path to Exile?
Oh, Path to Exile.
I always do. Like, do not underestimate Path to Exile. It is a 1 mana ramp spell. If you keep a 2 land, or like, all right, well, I don't need this creature right now. Let's look for that 3rd land. But yeah,
yeah. So this could just eat up removal. Right when you maybe gained a substantial amount of life, like say you gain 20 life, you're like, all right, cool, I get to make a 20/20 demon. It's gonna be so cool. And then they're like, it's like, no, Assassin's Trophy your commander.
Oh man, yeah. All right. Moving on to next one. Eudora, Grave Gardener, 1 green, 4 colorless, legendary creature, tree folk druid, 5/5, and then whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. It's a force land. Oh, that's really good for the ability. Like it definitely like 5 mana seems fair enough for that ability, and like whenever something dies that's not a token, like you just get a land. Yeah,
I think this would be a decent like commander for just low to the ground type of decks. Like if you're building an elf deck, yeah, it doesn't synergize with your elves, but the one thing that elves are weak to is just board wipes.
Yeah,
you know, like as you recently noticed, people have been building a lot of those Lathril decks, so like elves just got like a resurgence as far as a Golgari commander, even with Llanowar, the Abomination of Llanowar. But the one thing that it kind of just they get taken aback by is when someone's like, all right, cool, I'll Toxic Deluge for 2 mana or 2 life, you know. At least this way, this creature, it also gives you a little bit of political power, because when creatures die, you may return those creatures onto the battlefield as a forest land. So obviously all your creatures, all your little tiny mana dork creatures are going to come back as lands, which, you know, as we all know, lands are the hardest thing to get rid of.
Yeah.
Right? But you could also like look at the other guy across the table like, hey man, you're starving. You're mana starved.
Yeah.
How about I return all those creatures as
Oh no,
lands?
It's only you control, I'm pretty sure, right?
No. You may return it to the battlefield under its owner's control.
Never mind. I thought it said you control. Like, wow, okay. That's definitely a powerful card then.
No, so like, I mean, it's still powerful because now it also gives you some politics, some leverage.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, oh man, yeah, especially if for an elf deck that's like super reliant on their mana dorks. They're like, oh man, here, how about I give you, you know, 4 out of the 6 like creatures, and now they're a forest, and so now you just don't do anything to my board for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna accelerate them, right? Like, I don't know. What do you think about it?
In green, I feel like I'm missing like a color, but yeah, definitely, it just seems like a really good like anti-board wipe card. Depending on what type of deck you're playing, right? If you're playing like a stompy deck, sure. Like maybe an elves, maybe. But yeah, it's definitely a sweet card.
Yeah, I just think it's more because for the fact that it's not board wipe protection, because obviously your creatures are still gonna die, but it's giving your little mana dorks a second life.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. So I think this, out of the 3 legendaries we have, I think this one is the most interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's get to the next one. We have Ezza-Root Channeler, 5 and a green creature, tree folk druid. It has reach. Creature spells you control cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn, and then it has tap, gain 2 life.
Gross, but thank goodness not a legendary creature.
I mean, I think it should have been, you know, honestly. But no, I think this is gonna be I don't know if this is gonna be an automatic slot in for Tristani life gain decks.
Depends how many did you play that commander at all?
Tristani?
Yeah.
No, but I played against it plenty of times.
Like, how many creature do they run? That's the.
It's so much.
So much, and yeah, this is really good for it then.
Because I mean, just think about it. So like, when you drop this at 6, right? You're gonna gain, I believe, 6 life. I think it's to the toughness. Mm-hmm. So now all your creature spells cost 6 less this turn.
Yeah, definitely so good.
Yeah,
I would have been okay if like tap the next creature spell you cast costs X less, but this definitely is just a level up for it. For 6 mana 4/6. And the fact that it has reach, which is actually really good. The most underrated like thing to have in EDH, just reach or like flying, because there are some commanders like take you out in one hit or something like that. There's cards seem like kind of turbo with like artifact decks. Like if you have like a construct deck, like all right, cool, Walking Blitz up for like 10 free or something like that, just something gross like that. Or you could like actually just combo off if you have like a Scrap Trawler and like the Junk Diver, I think it's called.
Oh, Junk Diver?
Yeah, you just keep on like sacking or like keep on sacking, and then you're like, cool.
Oh, well, like those just bring each other back, right?
Yeah. And then you keep on playing it.
Oh,
if you
and
have, like,
you keep casting. Yeah, because you have to keep casting. Yeah,
then you probably just gain infinite mana, or if you have like a sack outlet or like Altered Dementia, you just kill everyone on that table.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty rough, right? Yeah, so this definitely is a pretty powerful card. I mean, even though it's at 6 mana, what's 6 mana to a green deck?
Basically like 4 mana.
It's 4 mana, 3 mana. So, I mean, I definitely can see a lot of people slotting into their Azusa Eldrazi decks.
Yeah,
which would be pretty nuts. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more stronger cards that is in this pre-con deck.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to our next card.
All right. Next card is Essence Pulse. 1 black, 3 colorless, sorcery. You gain 2 life. Each creature gets -X until the end of turn, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn. This is like a Toxic Deluge, but opposite. You just gain life, and then you just like board wipe how much you gain.
All right, yo. I can't tell you how many times I've been set back by trying to Toxic Deluge for 7, and they're like, nah, counterspell that. It was like, all right, well, I'll just lose 7 life.
Those are my favorite plays. Just like, you pay that 7. Good job. No, I'm joking. But yeah, this is just a definitely step up for Toxic Deluge for sure. But it is 1 extra mana, so you definitely have your Conjure Pro with those 2 cards. But just gaining life, and then like with the synergy that this deck had, or like any type of deck, gaining life is really good with this card. Like let's say you gain like 8 life, you gain another 2 off of that, so all creatures get -10, and it kills indestructible creatures. It kills like basically anything.
Yeah, I've always said that Toxic Deluge is probably one of the best board wipes in Commander. Yeah. Just because, for the simple fact that it gets around things like indestructible and
not Shroud or Hexproof. I'm like trying to think of like the other ones. Regenerate. There
yeah, it gets around Regenerate.
Yeah.
It gets around Protection from Black.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, you know, anything that's gonna give -X and to an access of more than, you know, what you can possibly do is always gonna be good. So and it's at 4 mana, which is still board wipe central. Mm-hmm. You know, as far as in the mana curve, I think this is going to be a really nice slot in for any deck.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially for a life gain deck, you know. But at least even on its own, it'll still get rid of small creatures.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
All right, let's get to the next card. We have Revival Experiment, 4 and a black and green sorcery. For each permanent type, return up to 1 card of that type from your graveyard to the battlefield. You lose 3 life for each card returned this way. Exile Revival Experiment.
6 mana is a lot for all those things, but definitely a good slot in for Gagari decks for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know 6 mana is a lot, and at the most you're really only going to get 5 permanents back. Mm-hmm. But you know, especially for a late game play, that might kind of do it for you. You know, you get one key creature back, you get one key planeswalker, you get an enchantment, you get an artifact, and you can get that land, you know, that Gaia's Cradle that got destroyed, or even what's it called, the not Nyx Bloom, but the Nyx land where it taps for devotion.
Shrine?
Yeah. You know, so sometimes, like, even if you're only getting 3 out of the 5 that you could possibly get, I'd still play it. You know, it's still a nice return certain key parts. Maybe you're returning your key combo, or maybe, like I said, you're always gonna try to get a land that taps for more than 1 mana out of it.
Yeah. And let's talk about the art for a minute. It looks very Simic-y. Like, there's another card in Guild of Ravnica's Allegiance where it's like a regal, but for 2, and it had like the 2 birthing pods of like someone. Like, it looks exactly like it. It looks like a very Simic-y card.
Yeah,
like, and then like the guy looks like Jace for a minute. Like, why is Jace on this plane again? We already had too many Jaces. Can we just like stop making Jaces for once?
Yeah, I think the card you're thinking about is like Epic Experiment or something like that.
Not Epic Experiment.
It's the 2 and Simic colors. The one where you shuffle your deck and reveal the top.
Oh no!
Unexpected results.
I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking of like an uncommon for like 2 green, 3 colorless, and then return up to 2.
2 permanents. Oh yeah,
I'm thinking of that one.
It does. This just looks like the Tim Burton version of it.
Yeah, just neon lights, but yeah, definitely sweet art too.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to our last one, Blossoming Bog Beast. 1 green, 4 colorless, and whenever Blossoming Bog Beast attacks, you gain 2 life. Then creatures you control gain trample and get +X until the end of the turn, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn as a 3/3. Ooh, this is like a Pathbreaker Ibex, a new one.
Yeah, especially for the right deck that's just gonna gain an insane amount of life. This is a finisher.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So, I mean, if you're already playing the card, if you're already playing Pathbreaker Ibexes, if you're already playing Crater Hoofs, this is just redundancy at this point in certain decks. Because, especially if you build your deck around gaining life. Like, if you're using the Selesnya Huatli to gain life, or you're using, I think, one of the Elspeths to gain life, or Johnny's to gain life, and you're gaining 4 to 5, getting plus, all your creatures getting +5, they're all getting trample. Every turn, it's gonna whittle down your opponents to dust.
Yeah, the fact that it costs 5 mana, it's cheaper than Pathbreaker, but I feel like Pathbreaker is still the better one, just because, like, equal to its power, not life gain.
Yeah, but then also, like I said, that's why this is more of a niche thing.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Pathbreaker at the least will always at least give you +3/+3 in trample.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's Pathbreaker's base power is 3/3, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I'm saying, like you would pick this over Pathbreaker if, again, you're playing a Trostani type of deck where you're gaining a ridiculous amount of life. Like, just imagine someone's playing a dinosaur deck. They have what's it called? The Sun Verdant. Whatever, the 7-8 mana drop dinosaur. That's pretty much like Trostani.
Guy. Yeah, Sun Verdant.
Yeah, and then you're like, all right, cool. I'll play Galta, a 12/12 all gain 12 life.
Yeah, that Jesus, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I just think this is probably one of those cards that, you know, it like Pathbreaker Ibex has gone up over time.
Oh yeah, no reprint yet for it, which is kind of surprising, or even a foil. Like, it's like, I think it's now like 15 or even 20 at this point.
But this feels like it's gonna be like one of those cards.
Yeah, all right. One of my honorable mentions before we end the video, which is called Witch's Clinic, to land rare and tap, add 1 waste. But for 2 mana, tap target commander gains lifelink until the end of turn. I'm pretty excited for this card.
Yeah, I guess. I know you want to put this in Gargus.
Yeah, definitely in Gargles. Even a Tully too. I feel like this would be a Tully card too.
You think so?
Yeah, just a utility land to help you gain that life with a Treasonous Ogre out. Like, all right, cool, got the extra mana. Yeah, because like my Tully deck required a lot of life.
Yeah, and also the fact that it kind of works like Duelist Heritage, where you can give other commanders lifelink. So So it could become a bargaining chip. Like, hey, man, if you don't swing that Galta at me, I'll give it lifelink, and then you'll gain 12.
Yeah.
Isn't that dope?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a what's it called? It's a utility land like in the likes of Keswick Wolfront and that stuff. And the fact that you can give it to other commanders kind of gives you a little bit of political power.
Yeah. All right. I think that's everything for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment what you guys think about the Witherbloom EDH. Pick your favorite card and definitely comment it down. And my name is Quest.
My name is Barry.
And we are the Scry guys.